So, hello everyone. My name is Becky with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are going to be doing our opportunities and sales pipeline overview. So, we'll be going in and talking about what a sales pipeline is and how to use your opportunities applet in Command, getting opportunities submitted for compliance to your market center and things like that. So, we'll walk through that process today. Before we get started, though, a couple of things. First, if you are here with me live, if you have any questions as we go through, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. I will do my best to get them answered in real time. Generally, for the sake of timing, I will save those questions for the very end, just so I can make sure I give y'all a good answer there. And so that if it's something that I can answer quickly in the moment, I absolutely will. If it's something that requires a more in-depth answer, I will save it for the end. So promise I'm not ignoring you if I don't answer your question right away. I just want to make sure that I have time to get through today's class material as well as giving you a thorough answer. So again, just drop it in the chat and I'll get to it. And we'll make sure we have some time at the end to get through all the questions as well. If you are watching this back on recording, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us via email. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm going to drop that in the chat for all of you here with me as well. Again, support@scottleroymarketing.com. If you have any questions about today's class, or if you run into any snags while working on the opportunities or anything like that, feel free to reach out to us via email. We're always here to help out, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. Today's class recording will be available on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours. Since it is Friday, we do aim for end of day. So when you're on our YouTube channel, we do always recommend that you look for the most up-to-date videos. Things are always changing with Command and the services that we offer here at Scott Leroy Marketing. So we do are always uploading new tip videos, and our class recordings will always be on our YouTube channel. The easiest way to find the most recent videos is using this videos tab right here. We'll put our videos in reverse chronological order. So we'll have our most recent video up at the very top, and they will get older the further down you scroll. So you'll be able to find those videos. If you are searching right here, so we'll search for today's class. We'll just go with opportunities, and you'll see that they will pull up. Now, you'll notice that they do not always pull up into order, in order here. So you might see old ones up top. Let's actually go with and sales pipeline so that it will just be the class instead of including tip videos. There we go. So you'll see that they will be probably out of order here. That's based off of the algorithm, YouTube's algorithm. That's not something we're able to change on our end. However, we just recommend scrolling through to make sure you find the most up-to-date one. We have one from 1 month ago, or 3 weeks ago, then be our most recent one before today's class. So if you look through there, you should be able to find, based off of the dates here, the most recent ones. If you are looking at the videos and things look, something looks wrong, something looks different, or you're not sure if you have the most up-to-date video, just feel free to reach out to us via email. Again, that email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. We are always happy to help find the right video for you or guide you in the right direction. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to switch over to Command and we'll jump into today's class. So first of all, what are opportunities and what is the sales pipeline? So opportunities are your transactions. So they will start at the time you meet your lead to the time you get to the closing table. So opportunities is just transaction. It's basically where you track that transaction all the way through. And the sales pipeline is actually the life of the opportunity. So it's the process through which you go. So it's all of the opportunity. So I'll walk you through the basics. For the first half of the class, exploring your opportunities tab, showing you how to create an opportunity, how to manage them, edit them, move them along. And then the last half will actually go through the sales pipeline, meaning we'll kind of walk through the steps you'll take from the time you start the relationship to the time you submit your documents for compliance to your market center. One other thing I will mention, this is an overview, so it's kind of just an overview of the sales pipeline. Again, we have tip videos that walk you through some more in-depth things, but I'm also happy to answer questions. I see some coming into the chat already. I will definitely get to those. Some of them I may cover in classes we actually go through, but otherwise I'll make sure I circle back at the end to grab those. So we'll go ahead and we'll start in Command. Now, a couple things we want to make sure are set up first. So we want to make sure we have our signature platform connected. So we'll be signed into our command and we'll click our name in the top right corner and we're going to click settings right here. Now under settings, you're going to see any connected applications up at the top. So if you have DocuSign connected or you have Lone Wolf connected, Lone Wolf is the new signature platform that we will all be using going forward. But if your Market Center uses .lib, you can connect it down here as well. Today, we are going to stick to the opportunities side of it. We do have a class coming next week on Lone Wolf, so I'd encourage y'all to check that out. It should be next Friday at the same time and same Zoom link that you used to access today's class. And that recording will be on our YouTube channel as well. We do have some tip videos on Lone Wolf as well, but we'll have a class that'll walk you through the process there as well. So definitely recommend checking that out. It'll be coming out next week. So alrighty, so now that we know that we have those connected, we'll walk you through how to connect your Lone Wolf as well. But if it were not connected, we just scroll down and click connect account. It'll prompt you to sign in and you should be connected there. Alrighty, so now that we know that our signature platforms are connected, we're going to go back out to our command home here. And then from here, we're going to go to our opportunities applet. Now, opportunities applet is this handshake on the left-hand side. So we can grab that. If you're not familiar with the different applets in command, which are these on the left-hand side, you can hover over them. It will tell you the name of the applet, or you can click this red square with the white KW and it will expand the whole menu and you'll see the name next to it as well. So again, we're in the opportunities applet here today. So start out with what you are seeing here. Now, one thing to note, they did just change a couple things in opportunities, so we'll cover what they've changed. But one of the important things that they just changed is they just gave agents their own, basically it's a personal team, so it will be a business account. So if you click your name in the top right corner, you're going to see your name with business after it, and then you'll have team leader and rainmaker underneath. This is just your personal account. It just means that you have some of the different features that you would have in a team account. For example, you can now add a guest user to your account, like a transaction coordinator or an admin if you have somebody for that. So you can add those so they can access your account instead of going through your own logins. So that is one of the great things that just got added. There's a couple things in there. We've put out some tip videos on that in the past couple of days as well. But we'll walk through what's changed on the opportunity side today. So you'll want to make sure if you are on a team, you're going to see your name up here. Again, you'll see your name and your team account. They did just change this, so now you do have to toggle to the correct account. It used to be that you would see all of your opportunities in the pipelines here. You would have different tabs for the team and your personal. Now you'll see those if you go to your name in the top right. You can switch between your team account and your personal account, and that will change your pipelines and the opportunities you can view in those pipelines. So we have our pipeline view here. We're going to circle back to the pipelines because I want to talk you through those in a minute. But our other tabs, we have our opportunities tab. This is all opportunities. Now, again, this one is going to be specific to the team that we are in. So if we're in our personal business account, it will only show our personal opportunities. If we are on a team and we switch over to our team account, it will show our team opportunities here. So you can see all of your opportunities in list regardless of the pipeline that they are in or the phase that they are in. So this is where you can find all of them at once. You can search by the address, the opportunity, or the contact for your specific opportunities. And then your smart views, similar to your contacts applet, you can create smart views based off of filters that you add, so you can view the same filtering each time. So this part hasn't changed. It's going to be the same in here. You'll see all of your opportunities. You can access them through here. They did just add this search tab right here. And this is the exception to which tab you're in. So this one, sorry, I didn't say that right. But this one is the exception to the rule that you can only see whichever account you're in. If you're using the search tab, you can search for any of your opportunities, no matter if it is a team opportunity or your personal opportunity. It's going to allow you to access them through the search feature here. So you can search directly through here and you'll be able to find all of the opportunities. By name, you can filter by the opportunity type, the pipeline, close dates. So you can go in and look through all of your opportunities through there. So we'll go back out to the pipelines tab here, and we'll look at what we're seeing here. So first of all, we're going to see now we have all assignees. So we can see any opportunities that are assigned to anyone in here. So we can select by the assignee. Now, again, when you're on a team, now that you have a team account, when you add a guest user, it's going to, you can have them as an assignee. So you can see any opportunities that they are assigned to, or you can just toggle to have both all assignees right here, including yourself. So each of your pipelines, you'll have 3 different pipelines. You have listings, buyers, and leases. And those are separate pipelines. Again, the lifetime of the opportunity. Our pipelines tab is really just more of a visual overview here. But you can see in each pipeline, you have different phases. So you have the cultivate phase, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. You have the same phases for the buyers. And then for leases, the only difference is you'll have a pending phase instead of under contract. Now we'll talk through what each of those mean. So the cultivate phase is going to be when you are starting to form the relationship with that person. You're collecting the information, having the first conversations about real estate. Basically, you're trying to get to the point where they are talking about setting an appointment with you. So this is when you're first starting to talk real estate with them. They're first expressing interest in, buying a house, selling their house, anything like that. And you're getting them to have a listing or buyer appointment with you. So that would be the cultivate phase. You're nurturing that relationship there. Next, we have our appointment phase. Now it's pretty self-explanatory. It's when we get the actual appointment set. So when we have the appointment set, when we have the appointment, and then from the appointment, we should hopefully go over to the active phase, meaning they've signed with you, you have ink on paper, you are now representing them either as their listing agent or their buyer's agent. So you'll be active at that point. From active, we'll go to under contract once we are under contract on a property, either to sell or buy. And then closed, pretty self-explanatory once they have closed fully here. Now, one thing to note, actually, we'll talk about that in a second. It'll make more sense when I explain the rest here. Now you're going to see a number under each one. That indicates how many opportunities you have in those specific phases of your pipeline here. So we have 11 in this one, 2, 1, 15 under contract, and closed. You'll see the volume down there. So that is going to be your sales volume. And then we have the average time and opportunity spends in that specific phase. Now, ours is going to be a demo account, so our averages are a little bit skewed. Yours will probably look a bit different than this. But you'll see the average time down here. Now, what I was going to say about closed a minute ago is this will reset to 0 at the beginning of the month. So once your market center does their month-end close or their transmittal, whichever your market center calls it, it will reset this to 0. You can still find your closed opportunities under the opportunities tab, but it's just going to reset to 0 at the beginning of each month. So the closed indicates closings this month specifically. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to see your GCI. So there's 2 different options here. You have your potential income, and potential income is how much your total commission from all of the opportunities in this phase, or in this pipeline rather. So it will be all of the opportunities in this pipeline, and if they all got all the way through to closing, how much your GCI would be. Now, probable income is a little bit different. You'll notice that number is usually going to be lower. Probable income is adjusted based on the probability to close of the opportunity in each of these phases. So we'll see where we can change those percentages if you know that yours are more likely to close in specific phases. So we'll look at that. But the probable income will adjust based off of how far along it is in the process. So that'll be the same for your buyers and leases as well. So those will all function much the same way. Now, each of these buttons is also a hyperlink to go see the different phases. So we can see we're in our listings in the cultivate phase. And in each phase, we have stages. Now, I'm going to talk through this a little bit later when we actually go through the sales pipeline. It will make a bit more sense then. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. I'm going to go back out here to our home page. But you can click on each of those and they'll bring you in to that phase where you can see all the stages and the opportunities in that phase. Now, if we scroll down on this dashboard, we'll see a couple more graphics here. We have our ratio graphic, so we can see how many of our opportunities are listings, buyers, or leases. It will also tell you the probable versus potential income, which is going to mean the same thing as it would for each of our pipelines up here. So you'll see the percentage of opportunities we have. So 81% of our opportunities are listings, 14% are buyers, and 6% are leases. So you'll see those adjust as you create more opportunities, and you can see your totals down here. Now, our activity chart, this is going to show how many active opportunities we have. It's going to be past 12 months. So you can see how your business has ebbed and flowed throughout the year. So you kind of have an idea of what your business will tend to look like as you go through the year. It'll give you a good idea of what months maybe your business tends to be better versus lower. So you can kind of just keep an eye on those stats there. You can toggle between your different pipelines, listing, buyer, landlord, or tenant to see how those track as well. And then down below, you'll see closings this month. So any that have closed this month or are closing, you'll see in this list. Again, this will reset at the beginning of each month. So just something to keep in mind there. Alrighty, so that is our opportunities dashboard. Now we're going to look at creating an opportunity, and there are two different places to create an opportunity in Command. First, we can click Create Opportunity here, and we can select the type of opportunity. We can also go over to our Contacts applet, and we can select whichever contacts we're creating it with, and then we go to the Opportunities tab. We can create an opportunity and select the type of opportunity here. I'm going to go back over to our Opportunities tab. I just wanted to show you that there was an option to create it directly through the contact. So if you clicked on that, it would pull up the form, which we're going to go look at in our Opportunities applet here. So we'll click Create Opportunity. I'm going to create a listing opportunity today. And in there, it's going to automatically set your market center and the opportunity owner. So again, if you switch between your team account, it will change this. If you're, in a team in a different market center, it will show it here. If you're, on a team and the owner will be the rainmaker, you'll see that here. Assignees, you'll see those here. You can select any additional assignees. So if you have a guest user, which we do, then you'll be able to add them here and they'll be assigned to this opportunity. And then we can go down to add our sellers here. So this part did change. It looks a little different. If you've created opportunities before, you'll notice that this looks different than it used to, like 2 days ago. So here we can add our seller here. So we can just start typing. You'll notice that this first pops up blank. You have to start typing for it to start populating the contact's name here. We can create a new contact directly here. We'd enter their full name, email, phone number, and click confirm, and it would create that new contact for us. So we can say, go ahead and add that, we'll confirm. And you'll see that we now have a new seller on here. We can add multiple sellers. So if we have a bunch of different sellers we need to add, we can go through and individually add them. Again, just start typing and it will populate. We can add multiple. It used to be that you could only add one co-seller or co-buyer, but now you can add multiple in here so that you can keep just adding them if you need to. You can also adjust that when you get back over to your opportunity, but we'll look at that in a second. Next, we'll choose our opportunity phase and stage here. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start out with cultivate in the watch stage. And then tags, you can start adding tags here. These are similar to your contact tags, but they're going to be different tags than you would have. You can create new tags. Tags are great for tracking opportunities, whether you have a specific niche you like to work in or something like that, and you want to kind of keep an eye on how many you have. For example, maybe you specialize in military. So you can do military or reloads or senior, anything like that. You can add more tags as well, just a way to track those. Maybe we have sphere. We can add that in as well. And then we can go down. Next, we have this section right here where if you have a listing, you can go ahead and link it here. So if it is already in the MLS, we can add our KWLS listing. Otherwise, we can add the address right here. It is not a required field. You'll notice that all the required fields have red asterisks next to them. So really the seller, the assignees, opportunity name, and opportunity phase are the only required fields. But we can go in and fill out the rest of this if we have that information. You can click Add KWLS Listing, and it will pop it up here. I'm going to show you when we get into the opportunity how you can do that as well. I'm going to skip over that. Estimated listing price, if you have that, it's going to help forecast your GCI, commission rate, anything like that, and we'll go ahead and click Create. Now, once we create the opportunity, it's going to bring us in to the opportunity itself. And you'll be able to see all of that information you've entered in, like your opportunity type. You'll notice that can't be edited. Neither can your ownership, either market center or opportunity owner. But we can adjust our assignees here if we want to remove our guest user, or if we want to add them back, we certainly can. We'll just click this drop-down menu and add them back in. So on the left-hand side, we're going to see again, we have the option to add our KWLS listing. We can select that. Now, one thing I want to show you is it tends to look, sometimes it can look like this. So when you click Add KWLS listing, sometimes it will automatically populate this right here where it says it can't find any other listings. A lot of people think that that means it's broken. It's not necessarily broken. It could just be a filtering problem, which in this case, it's only showing my listings. I don't have any listings in here. So it's not going to show them here. So I'm just going to click show all listings. And then I recommend searching by the MLS number instead of the street address. It tends to be more accurate. It tends to pull in just that listing instead of pulling in 20 other listings. So we can go ahead and we'll add that in. We'll go ahead and search. And then we can select right here, and then it will add it to our opportunity. There we go. And you'll notice that it updates here with the listed date, expiration date. If it has it, it would update here. We can add our property type and classification. That'll help populate over to our offers and commissions when we get there. So we'll say residential and resale. Click save and it will update. There we go. We can add more sellers through here. So if we needed to, we can just go in and add multiple co-sellers. If we need to change the contact on this opportunity, we can just click on their name and then you can start typing. So we can say, maybe we meant to enter this person instead. And so it'll switch it over for us. Financial information, you have your list price, contract price, you can enter that in. That should update when you actually do your offers and commissions tab as well. So it will be interchangeable. It'll change between the two here. So you'll notice that all changing. We can add those dates in here. But then back to our details tab, we have our general information. We can add more tags in. We can remove tags we've added. We can change our opportunity name. So now that this is updated, we can go in and we can, since we changed the name, maybe we want to just put the listing address here. We can add that. It will automatically populate. I meant to mention that earlier. It will automatically populate the opportunity name as the contact dash listing or buyer, whatever your opportunity type is. It's going to automatically generate that, but you can edit that when you're creating the opportunity and once it's been created, either way. And then on the right-hand side, you'll have key dates for your opportunities. Key dates are super helpful when you go in to create those tasks here. So when we go in and create tasks, I know we have a question about that, and I'm going to try to get that answered as we go through as well. But you can add your dates, your appointment scheduled, the appointment date, agreement one, photography date. You can just go in and start filling in these key dates here. And we'll talk about those a little bit more in a few minutes, but we can go in, we'll say our appointment scheduled, and we can set our appointment date as well. We'll say it's for Monday. And then once we have those, we can fill them in the agreement one, put that Monday as well. And then we can start adding our other dates that we have as we have them. So We'll just add in a couple here and we'll look at those in a few minutes. Next, we have our Documents tab up top, and this is where you are going to sync with your e-signature provider. Generally going to be Lone Wolf, but it could be another, if your market center is using .loop, if y'all are still using DocuSign for the time being, you can sync those here. And we'll look at that in a second when we go through the actual sales pipeline here. So once we go through the whole process. Next, we have our offers and commissions. Pretty self-explanatory. It's where you'll add in offers and commissions. We'll walk through the process again once we actually go through. Vendors, you can go in and add them in. So we can add the attorney, home warranty, inspector, insurance, notary, title, anything like that. We can add them in here. We can start searching and you would see them pop up based off of your market center's vendors. But then you can also create a new vendor in here as well. Notes, you'll be able to add any notes on the opportunity. You and the assignee can. So y'all can add notes to the opportunity. And then the timeline, you will see all of the things that have been changed on the opportunity since it was created. We can filter by date range for all time, last 7 days or last 30 days. The activity type, anything like that, we can add in any individual, whoever did something there. Now we are the only ones who have actually done anything on this opportunity. Our guest user hasn't since we just created it. But if they had, then we would be able to filter by anything that they've done as well. Alrighty, so we're gonna go back out here. So we've kind of walked through what our different opportunities look like. Now, a couple things up at the top as well. We can export documents. So if we've uploaded documents, we can export them directly. We can download them to our computer. We haven't uploaded any yet, so it won't let us download them here yet. But if you need to export documents from the opportunity, you can do that. We can see our tasks for the opportunity, which we'll talk about in a second. Where you can see the tasks that are assigned to this specific opportunity. Through here, you can create new tasks, and those will apply only to this opportunity. You can also create a task out in the stages and phases. You can go out and create them through the pipeline, and it will apply to all of the opportunities that you create in the future, and we'll talk through how to do that. We can generate a summary for the opportunity. Opportunity dates, transaction dates, anything like that. We can generate a summary of what has been added, created, anything like that. And then we can also click these three dots, mark the opportunity as lost, or archive the opportunity here. So marking it as lost is where you would have it fell through for some reason, where you're no longer representing them. You've terminated your agreement with the seller or buyer. You can archive the opportunity if it is maybe you just made an error, you need to recreate it under a different market center or a different team. You can archive it in that case. Marking it as lost means you lost the business. Archiving can just mean that maybe it's not for this transaction or something like that. So maybe you, again, made an error, need to just recreate the opportunity. You can archive it then. Alrighty, so now we're going to walk through the opportunity and sales pipeline. So we're going to go back out here. We'll kind of walk through the process here. So the first thing is when you've met the contact, we'll say you've met the contact, you've already created the opportunity. So we'll go into our specific pipeline here. Actually, we'll look at the sales pipeline individually here. We'll go into the sales pipeline here. We'll go into the cultivate phase. And now in here, we looked at this a little bit earlier, but we can drag and drop the opportunities. We can move them along through the process, and it will update the opportunity. We can update it within the opportunity as well. I think we saw that earlier, but we can drag and drop it throughout. We can drag it over to the opportunity or to the appointment phase. So you've gone ahead and gone through there. We can create our stages and checklists here. So again, we have our opportunity pipeline, just the listings. The phase is cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, or closed. And then there are stages in each phase. So there's a lot of different layers here, but you can add even more. So we can go to our stages and checklists, and we can add more stages. So if maybe you don't have a scheduling or you have your scheduling scheduled kept, we can add that here. Maybe I'm trying to think of what we would add. We probably wouldn't add very many to the appointment phase, but we could add more stages here. So you can click add stage. You can add your stage, the name of the stage, the probability it will be to close, and then the position it's in. And we can add tasks to the checklist there as we create it. But once it's been created, we can also click edit. We can edit the probability of it closing. And again, this is going to adjust the probable GCI that we see back out on our opportunities dashboard. So our probable GCI, probable income, will be adjusted based off of the probability you have here. So that will adjust. So if that's your probability is higher, you can definitely go in and change that. But we have our checklists for each different stage. So we can click on the checklist here and we can add tasks here. So we can go in, you can see all of the tasks that are already here, but we can add new tasks. So your task name, it's included in an email update, the task type, description, hyperlink, and we'll look at this. KW has also created a sample opportunity checklist, and I'm going to drop that link in the chat for you. So they've created this. Just go in, you'll just click make a copy from that link. Once it loads, they have a sample of each of your different opportunities. Down at the bottom, you have the different pipelines. So we'll switch over to listings, and then you'll have the different phases here, different stages across the top. And then you'll have the different tasks that you have options for. They also have tags, so opportunity tags for contacts and opportunities. Just recommended. You don't have to use any of these. It's just a recommended. But we'll go back over to our listings. I'm going to say, let's see, we were in the appointment phase here. Go appointment and scheduling. Okay, let me grab one from here. So we'll go in appointment, scheduling. We're going to go ahead and we'll just copy, and then we'll just go back over here and we'll paste it. Now it'll tell you whether they recommend it being for a client update or not. Of course, client updates are going to include an email update. So the client email updates, I'll show you how to toggle it on for the individual opportunities. Client updates have to be toggled on for individual opportunities. They'll default to being turned off. But basically, the client updates are going to send a daily email to your contact, to your client. How did I get to the one that showed this one, the sample? Or are we talking about our opportunity? I can show you how to get there, and you'll go ahead and let me know. I dropped the link for the sample checklist, but the sample, okay, yeah. Drop the link in the chat, but I'll go ahead and drop it again for you. There we go. So that's a sample. It has all of it. When you open it up, it'll have a button for you to click make a copy. That way you can edit it yourself without editing KW's copy. Yeah, for sure. So email updates, again, that's going to send an email update to your clients daily once you've created something. So you'll choose the time of day that the updates are sent out. But basically, the email updates will send out and include a list of everything that was completed if it is marked as an email update. So we probably don't want to tell them that we created a folder for them. That's kind of irrelevant, not really something that they're going to be excited that we did. So you may not want to include that in an email update. Again, the samples they have, whether they recommend it being a client update item or not. So pulling the deed information, that's a good option. Preparing a CMA, that's a good option. So you'll be able to select yes on those. But in our just close that out on me. We'll go back into our stages and checklists, and we'll go back in here. I'm just gonna, there we go. We can edit it, so we can click on the tab. We should be able to edit it. But we can drag and drop it around. Not sure why it's, we can choose who it's assigned to. But when we're adding tasks in here, we can, again, fill that out if it's included in an email update or not. Now, I will also say with the email updates, it's not going to send, if you haven't marked anything off that is included in an email update, it's not going to send an email to the client. So they won't, don't worry, they won't get an email saying we didn't do anything. So no worries about that. It will only send it when you've completed things that should be included in the email update. Then it will send an email that day. And it'll have a list if you've completed multiple things on that opportunity. Alrighty, so we're going to go back out here and we'll save that. Oh, one more thing on our to-do list here. We'll go in and we'll add a task here. Just so you can see, we have our due dates here. So due dates, you can choose no due date. And if it's no due date, it's going to create the task in your command once the opportunity is moved to this stage. We can have smart due dates. So on the smart due date or before or after. And this is where those key dates from our opportunity come in. So we can say before or after, we'll give them a notice one day before, and then we can choose our key date. Again, these are the different ones we've created. So our appointment, we'll say appointment date. Maybe we want to send them a text reminder. Appointment. And then we can add our description, hyperlink if we need to. So we can go in and add that our priority. So maybe we want to text them the day before our appointment date. It's going to create a task in command for us to text them to remind them that we have an appointment the next day. It could be something simple like looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, looking forward to talking to you tomorrow, something along those lines. Just a quick reminder that you have an appointment scheduled. That might be a great option. So we'll go ahead and click create here. And when you're doing that, you'll see that it is automatically assigned. So it will automatically assign to you. We can add tasks. You can choose who it's assigned to. You can make it unassigned, or you can assign it to the individual team members. So again, those guest users, you can assign tasks to them. You can set them as the assignee. So if you have an admin who will send out your reminders for you, then you'll be able to assign that to them and they can do it there. We'll go ahead and save those. Now we can go back to our opportunities here. And now when you create an opportunity, you move it to the phase that you've created those tasks in. Those tasks will be assigned to that contact there. All right. Or to that opportunity, sorry. So we'll go back out and now we'll walk through the lifetime of the opportunity. So first, you've met the person, you've already created the opportunity, we walked through that. And then you've cultivated the relationship, scheduled an appointment, and now you need the documents for that appointment. You need your agency agreement, things like that. You can go into your individual pipelines. We'll grab that. We'll grab the one we were looking at earlier. I'm going to open that up. And then we're going to go over to our documents tab right here. And you will see the name of the documents that you need. So you'll see, now I will say some market centers look a little bit different because some market centers have multiple checklists. So you can choose your checklist. It might say, please select checklist. So you would just click the top left over here and just select the checklist type that you need. So residential, some of them have land or commercial or anything like that. It depends on the market center as to what they've set there. So it can look different for everyone. But once you've selected your checklist type, you should see the checklist through here. So you'll see the documents that are required. You'll see whether they are required, optional. There's a third one that is conditional. This market center doesn't have any that are conditional, but it would be an orange bar like this. It would just be orange and say conditional in it. But you'll see the document name, the type of document, and then you'll be able to upload them manually from your computer. We can also sync with our e-signature provider. So we'll click sync with e-sign provider in the top right. And from there, we're going to select our document provider. In this case, we're going to choose a Lone Wolf. You could do DocuSign. If you have .loop connected, you can do that as well. But we'll go ahead and click Lone Wolf Transact here. It's going to have us select the agents to sync in here. So we'll sync our listing agent. And then if we had another agent on here, we can sync them since they're, in this case, we're saying that this one would be a guest user would be an admin. I'm not going to add them as a listing agent, but if you did have another agent on your team, team opportunities work the same way. And then we can just click sync agents here. And it should pull it up in Lone Wolf over here. I'll take a second. Loading, there we go. And then it will go ahead and it will pull up our transaction. So it will create a transaction for us and it will upload, it will add any paperwork that our market center may have added or you may have added. But you can add more paperwork. Just click add paperwork and grab your forms through there. Again, we have a Lone Wolf 101 class coming next Friday, same time as today's class, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time. So you would be able to pull in that. We would just recommend checking out that class. We'll walk through the Lone Wolf side of it. We don't have a lot of time to cover that today. But you would be able to go in, send out your documents for signature here. Once you've sent those out, they've come back signed. You can come back over to your opportunity. And then you'll just select from the checklist here, and it would pop up any of your signed documents will appear here. Now, if we uploaded a file, in just a second, let me grab a document so we can upload that here. Oh, that didn't work. Let's go add paperwork, upload. There we go. We'll upload that file because that'll pull in a PDF. So we can go back over here. I'm going to go ahead and sync it real quick. Refresh it. So that will pull in. There we go. Now we can select from there. It should. Let me drag this down to listed. All right, well, it should be pulling in. It might not have synced properly, so we can click sync to transact. That's probably what we need to do. And then we'll go ahead. You would be able to grab it from here. It might be that we haven't had any signatures on it or it hasn't refreshed properly, but you would be able to then pull in the documents directly from here. You can add them from your computer. You can switch over to my computer and upload them manually. Please note that when you do sync either with Transact or with DocuSign or .loop, once you've synced with an e-signature provider, then you will only be able to use that e-signature provider or upload the documents directly from your computer. You cannot toggle between e-signature providers. So if you did enter the wrong one, if you connected DocuSign and you meant to connect Lone Wolf or something like that, you would just need to archive and recreate the opportunity, or you can download those files manually if you already have everything uploaded, and then you can just upload it from your computer. So that's just how you would go in and do that. So we have our forms signed. We've added them in here. So once you've uploaded those, I'm going to just drag and drop one in here so you can see. Just drag and drop that over. There we go. So we've uploaded it from our computer. And then once you've uploaded all of your required documents or any documents, any optional that you need to upload as well. Once you've uploaded all of those, you're going to click submit to MC. MC stands for Market Center. So that will submit those documents to your Market Center for compliance. Just make sure you have all of the documents you need uploaded. You don't need to click it every time you upload a document. Just once you have all of your documents uploaded, you'll go ahead and submit to the Market Center. You would do the same thing for the under contract and closed as well. But once we do that, they'll let you know if it's approved. You'll see this status bar will update, whether it's been approved or it's been rejected or you have conditional approval. You'll see that status bar update. Now, once you've gotten that, next thing is maybe you start getting offers. So we're going to go over to our offers and commissions tab. And this is where we can go in and add new offers. So we can click add new offer here. We'll enter our offer information, offer name, the address. You'll notice that it automatically pulled in our address from these details on the left-hand side. If it didn't, we can just click select from KWLS and choose our opportunity, choose our listing the same way we did before. But anything with a red asterisk is a required field. We'll just go through and make sure everything is filled out. So we have our offer Maybe we have a pre-approved offer and pre-qualified. We'll enter our buyer name, a buyer representative if we need to, terms and dates of the offer. So we have our sales price. Maybe we have a full cash offer. Make sure I'm entering that right. There we go. So it's full cash offer, any earnest, we can enter in here, commission rate, we'll enter that in. So then we can enter those contract date, we can enter that in, or close date is going to be a required field, so we'll enter in when their closed date would be. So we'll go ahead and say maybe it's going to be Friday the 5th. And then we can add our contingencies if there are any, and then any comments about this offer. And then we'll just go ahead and create offer. So if we go into a situation where we have multiple offers, we can add another new offer here. So we can add this, we can change the name, we can go in and change this. Maybe this one's not a full cash offer, but it's higher. So we can say, let's see here, enter that in. Oh, wrong thing, 600. Maybe it is a cash offer. Oh, that's way too high. There we go. So we'll go in and we'll say, there we go. Now we've adjusted that properly. But we can enter our earnest amounts here. Commission rate, same here. When our close date would be, maybe it's an early closing. And then we can go in contingencies and create the offer. Now from there, it's going to have them side by side. We'll go ahead and take it a minute. Not sure why it's, all right. We'll go in, we'll recreate that real quick. Let me, oh, maybe I didn't enter the buyer's name. That's probably what it was. I just missed that, but we'll go in, enter that. Maybe also re-enter that information. Sorry about that. And we can create offer. There we go. Yeah, I forgot to enter the buyer's name. But you'll notice that we have them side by side, so we can compare those details. We also have the option to select all of our offers, and we can click compare offers right here. And it's going to give them to us side by side. And we'll have the sales price, what they are side by side. It will have the different buyers' names through here. So we can see cash offer, or how much is cash, finance, and all of that information, any comments you've added. We can download this side-by-side comparison. We can also email it. So we can email it to our contact. So we can go ahead and enter their email address, subject, title, email message, and we can send a copy to ourselves. We can also preview the email to see what it would look like. So you can kind of see side-by-side what it would show on their email. And then we can send the offers over to them. You can fill them in. Personally, you do not have to send them the offer comparison, but it is a super helpful tool. Back to offers here. We can go in and we can then, once we've created the offers, once our clients have gotten back to us on which offer they would like us to accept, or they would like to accept, should I say. They've accepted an offer, they're under contract. We'll go ahead and we'll click accept here. It's going to bring us into the offer because we do have to add the contract date. So we'll go ahead and add today as our contract date, and we'll save and accept offer. And then once we have saved and accepted the offer, it's going to bring us to the commissions tab. So you'll have your commission overview, your commission information, agent payment information. You can go fill that out with your name, the units, and all of that. So you can go fill all of this out. Make sure it's all accurate, has the correct, any deductions or anything that need to be taken off, you can add those in under agent payment. You'll be able to add any deductions through here. And then on the right-hand side, you would see your commission amount. You'll see the summary here. Make sure everything is correct, and you would just click submit. It's going to submit it to your market center, and they can approve it for you. And that's how you will get paid, is through the commissions. They do have to be submitted to your market center for you to be able to get paid. So then once you've done that, you've gone under contract, you'll go back to your documents tab, add your under contract documents through here, submit them to the market center. And then once you've closed, you'll do the same thing. You'll add those, upload those, and submit to market centers, or to your market center, so that you can get paid out. Alrighty, so that really wraps up what we have. We're going to go ahead and get to some questions here. If you are not sticking around for questions, thank you for joining me. I hope it was helpful. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a fantastic weekend. I know we did just have someone join in. I will go ahead and let you know we are wrapping up. We are getting to questions. If you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, this class recording will be available on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours, and you are more than welcome to check that out.